Wednesday morning, the Guam Education Board unanimously voted to pay $2 million in salary increments. But according to the governor's office, that's easier said than done. Governor Eddie Cavo's communications director, Troy Torres.
What we need to consider here is, where is that cash going to come from? The Board of Education is making an empty promise to its teachers, its staff, the administrators, telling them that there is money for the increments when there's not money for the increments, and they know this.
As we first reported on Primetime Wednesday, the board's justification for the vote was to keep from accumulating debt. If they fail to pay off this year's obligation, especially to those federally funded employees, DOE will be left shouldering the cost from their local budget next year. DOE Deputy Superintendent of Finance and Administrative Services, Tolling Taitino, says there is $2 million set aside in the present DOE budget to pay out pay raises. They're just frozen as part of the 15% reserve directed by the governor, along with the freeze on salary increments for all of Gov Guam. But Torres says reserve funding isn't money in the bank, and DOE is no exception to executive orders.
A reserve is not a cash account. A reserve is a revenue account that's on a piece of paper. What we're able to reserve by not releasing allotments, by not releasing revenues, is going to pay for tax refunds.
What's next? If DOE says they have money to pay out increments, Torres says they will no longer receive parts of their reserve. In the last month, BBMR has released close to half of the $30 million DOE reserve, so DOE could make payroll and pay utilities. Torres does suggest that Gov Guam's largest agency, instead of paying out increments, lead by example and take a 10% pay cut, like that of the governor, lieutenant governor, and their senior staff.
Perhaps the managers of the Department of Education should take the governor's lead, should follow the governor's lead, and institute a 10% pay cut for themselves as well. That way those savings can go toward what's really important, and that's what's in the classroom.
DOE Superintendent John Fernandez is a non-voting member of the Education Board.
I understand we have, we do not have limitless resources. So as we've looked at our past budget, as we look ahead, we do see there are things that we're going to need to do, lots of hard decisions to go around as to how to manage the Department of Education and make sure that our resources are focused on teaching and learning. So with regard to the discussion about increments, obviously the Board of Education felt very strongly that they would like to reach out to the governor to seek a resolution to the increment issue.
According to KUAM files, Fernandez's contract provides him a $150,000 annual salary. A 10% cut could be $15,000 in savings annually. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.